Okay, I'm going to be doing, continuing on the shark, the great white shark here, part two. So if you didn't see last week's live stream, it's on my channel, on my YouTube channel. And we'll get to it in just a bit. As always, we're waiting for some artists to pop on. Make sure my volume's up here. I don't know if I can make my phone go down. Yeah, I can. Okay. I had the phone ring one time. Okay. So there it is. I just switched over from, I've been using my Eclipse uh, for mixing. The gravity feed is good. It's the wider nozzle, mixing a lot of paints that are opaque mixtures and stuff. So this is good because I'm always testing colors and it leaves the micron alone. I'm always spraying, testing colors. I got this here. Let's just put that there. So I know my bottom color I was running out of it last week. That's all covered right now. But if you look here through the little opening and you go across, you can see, value changes. Even the hue is different. But the thing is, it doesn't really come close to the shark. So I could bring it up, or I could just protect the bottom half of the shark later and add that deeper water into the picture. Right now, I'm just going to focus on his light areas, such as the mouth coming off there. You can see the lightest light. And let's see what else. Bring this closer. Yeah, so we have, I'm going to be working on the lights and then the next darkest color over it. And the same thing when you get into the grays, I'll be working with the lighter grays. And believe it or not, even the back end of this has got some lighter grays in it. And then it goes into a dark kind of pattern here that, hey, Dave, how you doing? Dave, okay, so we know. Dave the Bug Gregory. Good evening, how you doing? Hello, Dan. How you doing? Welcome on board. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of mixed colors that will make this guy start to happen. The more exciting part, right, than last week by far. So start in, and like I said, I was using the other airbrush, the Eclipse gravity feed to mix my paints because they can really clog. They can really make your work on cleaning a lot harder. Last week I was going to show you the sharpener that I got from Blick Art. And it can receive I guess that's maybe, I don't know, fatter pencils, definitely, but this is the one that I use. And it's just really great because it's very sharp. It's a good quality sharpener. When you start seeing the giant pieces coming off like that, then you know you got yourself. I'm not going to sharpen the whole thing. This is brand new, this pencil. But when you start getting that, and it's very easy, then you got yourself a good sharpener. It's just something that you can pick up at Blick Art Supplies. It's metal. The only thing that's not good is it doesn't have a housing, so you got to do it over the garbage. I think it's called MAPED. Anyway, call Blick and say, hey, I want that really good sharpener. some of your best hand sharpeners to get those pencils going and get a nice little point on it for getting in tight. Okay, so let's get busy. Well, let's see here. We're using Createx paints for anybody that's not aware. Brian Moore, hi. How you doing? All right. And to all the other ones that have just popped on, howdy. So white is your paint that makes the transparents opaque. These are transparents from the factory. You can buy Createx transparent opaque paints too, but I want to control it. I want to control the amount of white I put in, and I want to make my own colors. This is a style that I love to do, but it's not the only style. You can mix transparents and have a blast painting very fast and erasing and doing all that kind of stuff. But so we're gonna work on the body. Probably get into some freehand shielding too. This is okay. That I'm trying to peel the frisket off, and it's a flat top. The point has broke off. So get myself a new blade and pick that frisket off so that I can paint and not paint on the frisket. You can paint on the frisket. Say this background wasn't painted and he was covered and it's all covered. You can test the background color right on the frisket because this will, the flat satin finish one can really do it. Can really help you out. All right, so my frisket here is not behaving. It got too many, when I guess I lifted it before. So it's kind of pulled away, and I will deal with that. By either flipping it and using the other side. I just needed to go around the edge of that better. And I told you last week, you have to use the, okay, brain freeze. I want to leave that like that. That's a little cut out, but I'm not too sure I'm happy with my cuts. Yeah, you got to change your blade often. See, it did come back to me, guys. I know I'm 30 years away from being 100, but me too. My son's got canceled. Oh, his game got canceled. Oh, cool. Well, not cool for him, but I'm glad you're at least getting to watch the video. Is it baseball? What is it, Brian? What sport? Just curious. I found this shield here. This shield, if you look at the edges and you think of the shark where the gray meets the white, this can come in pretty handy, to make that pattern. And of course, this mesh, it's a skin shield by Drew Blair's collection there. Oh, rain out. Baseball. Yeah, my Mets are about to start in 10 minutes. So I love the Mets. And when I do my live feeds, I give up my one game there, here and there, and everywhere. They're playing fantastic baseball this year. It's very fun to watch. But anyway, so the edging of this is going to be cool for if you get into here. Maybe you can't find like every little shape, but you can find some maybe, by turning it. So here is where the frisket's curling, right? So we want to take this piece off because it's not going to protect it. And it's a shape that calls for, I might just get a new piece, let's see, I can work this. I'll just, let's see, I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to go beyond, that's a little beat up there. And I'm just going to take the new blade and just cut this part out again. And I'm just going to hopefully let the weight of the blade, there's a little going around this way and that way. Weight of the blade be my pressure, a little bit more than the weight of the blade and not score the board. This is on Claybord. And I usually, don't cut on this angle. I turn the board all different ways to be comfortable and get it. So let's go down here. I'm going to just kind of pull that like that. Okay, so that stays and this goes. And that's my new piece that will go just onto there. As far as here, just score it lightly. You could still use this blade. I'd say for about, oh gosh, it depends on how the detail is, but think of it like changing it very often, like within a minute, and maybe even less time than that. Oh, so I got this. So that has its frisket still on it. So I'm just going to take this piece right here, get this lifted. There we go. And I'm going to just lift away here and just take it like that. This is not protected, obviously, right in here yet, but I'm not going to get to that fin for a little bit. So I'll just, I'm just going to work on, well, I got to start somewhere. So let's start right here. Again, let's put the picture above it and get it as close to the area that I'm going to work on. So I'm going to spray in a little light. Remember, his whole bottom is the same color. And if you were to see him under extreme lighting, all the colors are shades of the water and different things that are causing the color to change, So, I mean, there is darks and lights within, especially in the gray areas. They're really there. All right, so I have my little map here telling me, the big one's really nice, but it's covered. It's telling me where my color is, so number 4. If you don't want to paint this way, you don't have to. It's just the style that I like, so you can paint, look at Steve Leahy, he mixes colors right in his, right while you're going, and I've done that most of my career, but the more I started getting into the one particular style, the more I stick with this. I should come on here and paint my old way, right? Just to show the difference. It's just, transparents are very fast, but you make a mistake, you got a lot more problems. So I'm going to just take out the darker line here with the soft eraser. It's just a ghost line, really and truly. It's been erased already, but now it's a ghost. I can just about see it. So right up in here, I'm going to put that lighter color. Probably 25 pounds from the compressor. So let's just test it on the side. That would be just here. There's the color. Of course, that looks wrong, right? But if you look up there, let's just spray the edge. Here it is. Here's the color. I think this is the color, and if it's not, it's one of them. This one was a test piece for that part of the body. That one, I'll just do it right on here, but I got to spray it at the edge so you guys can see it, kind of touch it. So let me just do that. I'll do it on the side just a little bit. Okay, this probably not 100%, but you can kind of see, hopefully you can see that. It's, or you could take the lid, which has the exact spray at 100% because it might be a little hard to see, but I'll get the bigger one. Oops. let you see what I'm trying to go for here. So if you get this out of the way now, let's just move that out of the way, and you put this color down, you can see it melt. See how it goes right into it there? Because I worked on it. Okay, and that's why I number them. It's just my own little system. They can be numbered. You could letter them. You could write notes on them, like I've done on my other ones. Like I'll say, use number 7 here, but then lighten it, so put some white in it, and use it over here. That kind of a thing. Just for colors that are kind of close, but their value is definitely lighter or darker. And instead of spraying it lighter, I'm trying to use the opaque look, like gouache or something, which is very flat. Okay, so let's get some color on here. Right here, I'm going to move that part out of the way. And I'm also going to put my lid on my color because I've spilled before. Even though we're just using a little bit of it, it's only here and there. It's right here. So I got to erase that. Once I get this little bit of the lights in, then we'll start moving along and you'll see some shaping coming up. The mouth is covered. So I'm going to just send this color, this lighter blue, out. It represents a highlight, but right now, because we're painting from light to dark, against the white, we're not seeing the results of that yet. So I'll spray a little more than I need to, like put it out a little further. And over here, it's going to kind of go right along that line. It will cover the line if I second and third coat it, It's doing that right now. It's got a weight there for all of the other colors to come against it. So right now I'm going along my crazy little lines that are all, because there's a super tiny highlight of this lighter color that's going to wait right here before I bring in the other colors. This area down here, that's another color actually, another blue. But this little baby one right here, it's just going to be waiting to make it look like a highlight and not put it on later, put it on first. Okay, so where else do I see it? I see it out here, but that looks like it might be more of a gray, but I'll just put it there and I can always shape it with the gray. No, you can't see much at this stage, but just hang in there for a minute. I see this highlight here, but I still have my bottom piece of frisket on, so I'll get to that in a minute. All right, this is all open. This is still covered right from there back. All right, so that's where the white kind of is, and it's right here too on the corner of the fin. Right there. You can put more than you need because the next color is going to cover it. So bigger area. And right here, I'm going to wrap this around the jaw right there. Even though it's not as light, I'm going to carry this lighter one out further too. Because there's transitions, So that will be good for now. And then we're going to just immediately go to the color that goes on top of this. So let me get this little bit out of here. It is much easier for me to work larger too. Yeah, I got to check these comments a little bit here. Let's see. That's good. Yeah, Hobby Lobby, and it's good to have all kinds of things to practice on. It's fun painting on watercolor papers. I've done airbrush on watercolor. My YouTube channel has like 7,000 views or something on that one over all the other things. If I do watercolors or I say airbrush and watercolors, it seems it attracts a huge watercolor crowd. They're like, "What? What's this?" You know, like I said, the other the other videos don't have as much attention. That's like a lot. My channel has like 2,400. I'm not even sure anymore. But anyway, let's get to the next blue. But yeah, people like that watercolor stuff. I could probably do a watercolor channel and make it grow so quickly. Um, all right, so I need my next blue. Once I start covering this, the highlight will show up more because this is much darker, but it's still in the blue family. I could try to zoom in a little more, but you know what I do when I do that, it goes crazy. So let me try. It usually doesn't go in like behaving. It goes crazy on me. Maybe I don't know how to do it. And that right. Come on. Right about there. That's what you guys want to see at least. Except a little bit out. There. That's great. Don't move it, Bill. I won't. Okay. Okay, here we go. Next color, next value. All right. This is like cobalt blue, cerulean blue. Black is in it, and when I say black, I'm talking about just a little bit. I just had to deepen it in a non-color way, and white is in it, of course. Uh, Orange is in it. Again, the orange and the black are minute. All right, so let's get into this area now under his jaw. This is not covered, or is this covered? Oh yeah, it's just moving a little bit. Okay, so we'll just come along the bottom for a minute. Gotta go easier. His shapes can get lost really quick. So I'll just kind of cruise along the bottom right here. And it's not 100% yet. So you'll see it get dark. I'll do dark right here. You can see it's starting to get darker. Okay. And it can get another color that it didn't mix on top of that. But you can sculpt it at least if you don't have everything mixed. So we want to see that a little better. So lift that. Yeah, that gets real dark in there. But I could still put this color there. So let's just kind of look for these little, right here, this color kind of comes down. Makes a weird shape by the fin. Right here. Little feather stroke. Then I could start putting it in. I'm just going to check one thing here on my, yeah, that's going to be a whole nother color that I'm kind of wasting down here. So let's kind of go up here by the highlight, okay, and just work it. Remember the teeth there, all in there is just covered under Frisket. And if for any newbies that don't know what Frisket is, it's a plastic film that allows you to protect your artwork and cut out shapes. This is on Claybord. Claybord is a nice soft finish. That goes into, let me just focus on this for a minute. So there's a nice break up here where that white is. Just stay by the edge, spraying on the Frisket a lot. And just dust it over there. Okay, now we're going to just kind of cruise this in here. And like I'm learning this style, so if you really want to learn from the best, then get in touch with Drew Blair, DRU, and then Blair. Because I'm a student of his that's trying to paint in the style, but if you really want to learn the deeper stuff way beyond me, because I'm not teaching the color theory or anything, I'm just showing you the outcome of the mixtures. So I'm going to dust that in there, try to leave that highlight. I have to go back with some white later. Okay. And aiming down off of what I just sprayed. Because I see some like very saturated colors. You can put transparents on top of it later. That light area right here. Let's go here. This is almost like drawing, right? This part. Whoops, a little too heavy-handed. Too much. I'm going to go in here now. That highlight is right there, so let's just cut across right here. Very light spray. And then just mist it on like that, creating, looks very intense blue on my screen, but it's not in person. It's not. Okay, so we're going to come up in here and just put some color in here for a minute where the gills are. I can still see some pencil lines, and that'll be good because there's dark blotches right there. That's covered. So I can just kind of take it. I'll just dust this on here like this. Just to get it to start covering. Trying to find where the drawing is. Right there. My compressor is the actual gauges are frosted over, so I have trouble seeing what it's actually on. And then when you use the Mac valve, if you're messing with the volume of the paint, then you're going to be dealing with, you're saying you got 20 pounds or 25 pounds, and it's like, if you don't have a gauge that's working right, you get close. I can see a little bit through it. It's gotten kind of frosted over. Just kind of get the edge back there. All right, so I'm going to go onward into some, let's see, what's my next area that I can start doing the darker? Okay, so I'm going to start deepening this area. So we start to see some colors that are really there and the 3D of it all. But I'm not going to go, I mean, that's dark. but it's got a blue kind of, it's in the blue dark charcoal kind of area. That's what I want to get to is the grays, because that will start, even if it's a blue, it'll represent the darker areas. I'm just testing this on the bottom. It's really a very dark blue. I mean, when you start to look at it, I know you guys, I'm zoomed in now, but when you start to look at it on the photograph, you see it's a very dark blue. Okay, so I'm just going to mist this now. Very, very careful. I want it zoomed so you can see something, right? Okay, let's go right here. And right here. So it covers right over the other color, but I need that color there. Right there. I'm kind of leaving little variations of it, like this right here. There we go. Now we're going to go in here. Let's see, what's this one right here? Yeah, it's going to come off there. I'm going to mist it. There we go. Now we got a little bit of light color in there still. We got this one. Oh, we didn't put this one in yet. Comes up to the gill. Just putting it in light on purpose, very, very carefully. This fin is protected. Yep. And you'll start seeing more of 100% right around there, but I'm keeping it low. Keep it very low. Not just go crazy, because there's a transition area where one meets the other. Here, you can't really see like a distinct, I'll put the line in just for a minute, but you really can't see the difference. Maybe a little bit lighter, like when I start spraying on here, it might be a little lighter in some areas, like so I can kind of do something like this. There we go. See a little highlight I'm leaving for that part. And I'm just going to mist over that and get darker in the middle and leave a little visual highlight. If I have to put it back in later because it got buried, it can be done. But right down here, probably should be another color, but I'm going to try this. I'm using the film to create an outline on the fin. And right over here, it's probably darker than that. And it kind of ends right there somewhere. Okay, and then the darker color comes in and kind of the two get lost right here in each other. Okay, and this is like there's black up here. I gotta unzoom in a minute. You'll see that. So black will make the gray look lighter. Okay, right over here, the bottom. Keep it like that for now. One more pass there. And then I'm seeing a little, looks cobalt bluish, kind of more saturated area right there. So let's see where else this number, what is it called? It's number 6. Is it on the top? Yeah, it's over here. and it's over here. So I'm going to spray it lighter, or I'm going to spray it dark here, but I'm going to spray it lighter here, or I'm going to put some white in the color to just reduce some of the strength of it. So we can also use it on the dorsal up here. This is not, this is all uncovered now. So the dorsal definitely has a little shape there that I don't have any film on. So let's take a little piece of the Deltec. You can get this on Drew Blair's website. It's a tape that basically doesn't rip paper. So it's very, when you're using it, you can use it, you can see through it, like right there. Now the line that I have is kind of faded out a bit. So I'll just come back in here because it's dark against the lighter color. So I can have a dark line here. It doesn't matter, at least out to there. So I can see it through the paper too, the tape. All right. So it's going to act like the gold tape. It's going to act like it's very flat, but it won't rip. Like if you put this on paper, it won't rip the paper, and it has all kinds of great usage. Okay, so let me get the x-acto. And I've only used the x-acto for a little cutting, so we'll just go right here, and we're going to go down, up, over. And I'll just kind of bring it to here. Hopefully I didn't press too hard. Now I can kind of just come at this in the air even. You can kind of saw it till you get back, not damage anything. Pop this out. Over here, it doesn't matter because the real frisket's there, so I can just tear it. It doesn't matter. I just need it for there. Little freehand stencil would work too. Looks a little drastic, the drop. So I'm going to trim it a little from my real picture. It dips and then it goes up. Actually, that's correct. It looked wrong. I got to trust the drawing, right? Okay, so you can still see. I'm not reading the comments that much. I'm sorry. What about the photo? Paper used on printers. Tim here. Hi, Tim. How you doing? Okay. So now, taking this darker color, and I'm going to, remember I repaired this by putting a new piece of film in there. And this is just the purple tape for quick repairs. Okay, so I'm going to spray it. Is that the color? Yeah. See, when you first spray it, you wouldn't know it. So I'm just going to mist it on there. I'm using the film. It's a very blue-black. And you won't see that until maybe third coat. Now you'll start seeing it. I'm going to leave it lighter over here because there's all kinds of nice things happening. So I'll just kind of mist it on the edge there to capture some of the fin. Dorsal fin is waiting to be painted. Bring it right to the edge and get pretty dark there. And then I can kind of squirt around right in that area because we are squirting. But it gets darker. I mean, it won't catch up with that. So I got to just kind of use my optical freehand thinking, brain of spraying this correctly in the area. Want some highlights of the same. So we'll clean that up a little bit so you guys can see it. It's going to behave, it's on the frisket, so it's going to behave nicely. Just taking it off like that. And if there is any screw ups or I need to soften the edges because they're too sharp, like it looks too much like a stencil, then I can come back at it and overspray. Yeah, you can't clean it off the purple tape, but the purple tape has already done its job. I'm going to hit one more time up here. And maybe even one more time on the back end. It can still get even a darker tone. Ooh. So I'm going into the drawer. The X-acto knife is sitting, here's the tape sitting in the drawer, and here's the X-acto knife leaning on it like that. I didn't get hurt, but it was right there waiting for me to get poked in the knuckle. Okay, so I'm going after this one more time. It's been a little bit since I mixed the colors, so I'm stirring them up a little bit by just going in little circles. Right here, I'm going to hit the edge again. And see how it's now going almost to a black and leaving that lovely lighter gray. So let's see what that would look like if we take off the overspray film and we take the tape off. Now we have the dorsal fin matching, matching the dorsal fin pretty close. You know, it gets lighter when you see it up close. Whoops, sorry. So I can go in there with black even and just hit the edge a tiny bit back in here. I'm looking at it. I'll look at it on the big picture. Make sure. Yeah, there's black. So I'm going to put a little black right in the gun, and I'm going to spray back part of the dorsal fin one more time. I know you can't see the picture right now because we're zoomed in. Okay, black, where are you? I'm not going to do anything with the black. It's going to be, it's, you know, right out of the bottle. I'm going to blow out the little bit of blue. I'm just trying to copy what I see, and I do a much better job when I'm painting for myself, you know, not on a live video. Because there's just something about when you're on, for me, when I'm live, I get a little bit away from maybe 99% of what I can do, but maybe not. I don't know. It's something about the camera's in my way and different things, talking, things like that. All right, so I'm going to go back up against here. This is black now. And I'm going to just mist it on the edge of the back of the fin, almost making an outline. Right back there. And then just pull a little out, just like that. Not much. A little more up top, right there. That's it. You got to be, it's better to go slow and, you know, you get it correct that way. Okay. My friend and I got pulled over in the South when we were just out of high school going to Florida. My friend was driving a little fast for the Georgia police. And he pulled us over and had that nice strong accent. He said, the faster as you goes, the slower as it gets. You can apply that, I guess, to, I'm sorry, guys, let me zoom out. You can apply that to a lot of things in life, right? All right, so now we're starting to see something. This doesn't look correct, and it won't. Color against color is when it starts to look correct. But because he's blue, he's in the blue family up there. So let's get going on this part of the body. No, I need the lighter gray because it's light to dark. So this the lighter gray should be first, and then that dark gray. And I got to remember, I still have black in the gun. Do I see a little black down here? Let me look at the big picture. Yeah, right here on the fin. It has that, and then I can deepen everything later with a little, maybe I could do a little black right over that, but not much, just a little. Okay. Sometimes you want to, if you really want to fly, then use transparents, right? you can really go fast with transparency, but if you make a mistake, you're going to have to go down to the white of the board, or you're going to have to find a correction with opaque paint or whatever. Now back in here, excuse me, we're going to come off of this shape. I'm going to come around here, find that shape, and just remember there's still a little highlight. Where is it? It's right there. I get a little braver. Not much. That's it. That'll work for later on with the highlights around it. What's going on here? Let me look at the picture, the big one. Let me gray that out a little bit more. I hear the game playing. I can hear my favorite announcer, Gary Cohen. Okay, this can have a little bit of, right here, it's going to have a little shading on it to give it a little more 3D look there. Because there's a highlight that's coming down right after that. Okay, things can be adjusted later too, even if I have a bad cut, because a bad cut can be horrible if you don't cut the frisket right. Okay, so let's see from out there. You know, if you cut the frisket all rickety, you're going to get what you cut, and that's not good. Just erase the overspray. I hit that. Okay, so now it's time to put this color away. This color does go on the bottom of that edge there. I don't know if I cut this piece out here. No, I didn't. So I'm going to do it right now. Going a little below the line on purpose. Pop that out. Don't need to save the piece. Can't get the piece out. Okay, I talked about changing the blade. I'm going to do that. It's coming. But it didn't come this way. There it goes. Yeah, I'm not needing this piece. So I just can pull it off like that. So there's really a gray where that line is. It's not like a black all the way up to that line. It's more of a gray, but it's a color. It's not black. So I can't spray the black lightly right now to get that. Oh, I'm also fighting against the edge. So let me just get a small sliver of this dark at the edge. Spraying mostly on the film. And of course the gray did go up there a little bit, but it's the overspray from the black. But I can come in with the opaque and bury that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, that'll just be waiting. And I can get rid of that other piece now. The inner piece is another, wait, let me think for a minute. This is still protected. I'm going to leave it protected for a minute. When I spray this area, I don't know if I misplaced this part of the fish, but I have to just protect him. And even with a photocopy, I can cut out the shape of the photocopy to get to that part. Remember, his teeth are protected under there. Doesn't want to let go of that part of the frisket. That happened on the fin before. I just want to see it. All right. So you can see the white highlight that's there. And the other, it's going to be darker in there. So let's get, oh, I see violet. Color correct lighting, which is daylight, is hitting this. And I'm sitting here, you know, visually, not trying to zero in on one particular color, but I'm seeing right in here a red violet, just like as if it was tinted over all the colors that I put in later, that I'll be putting in. And I might just do that. I mean, you got to be very careful, because if you tint it and try to, you know, bring it to that look, you could destroy it with saturation, which is right out of the bottle, no good. Okay, so we want, what did I say? I was going to use this color, number 64, a lighter version. So I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. Doesn't just spray it lighter, but I've got to have that color first. Hold on a minute. Where is it? I think it's right here. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to grab this little different version of the color that's in there. I'm going to spray it probably lighter than I mixed it, just to get that black out. Oh boy, lots of black in there still. That would have ruined the whole fish. But there is going to be black right here. Is that filmed still? Nope. So while the black is in there, I can kind of go in and outline right here. That's black, so it can go right there. And then it makes up kind of weird because of the fins. It kind of does this stuff like, tip dry. Doing some micron stuff here. Painting what I see. Mostly spraying on the frisket to just capture that a little bit down there. Okay, so now I need to get that black out of the gun stick. Okay, what are you guys saying here? I am loving the blue hues you are mixing, Bill. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, sir. I'm trying to look at some of these comments. Take a moment out here. Still water. I only use Createx paint. That's all I'm using right now, Brian, is Createx paint. I wouldn't mind getting some inks and stuff that are in color, vibrant inks, just to fool around with different styles. Yeah, I just did a blue skull with blue flames. I think I might have seen that. All pearl paints, and it doesn't shimmer. Weird. That's weird. candies. Candies are fun. They really are. I stayed away from the three-dimensional art, auto, automotive vehicles and stuff. I did a little, but I stayed away from it. I didn't enjoy painting on round surfaces and things like that. I started not enjoying it, so be it. We all have our tastes that we like, different ways of painting. I like fine art. And I'm going to reduce this. I'm using the 4021. I have the big bottle, so what I did is I put in the Sharpie 4021 on there, and then I put uh, the shipping tape over it so it wouldn't smear, and that protects it. But I just like working on the fine art pieces. That's me right now. That's me. I mean, automotive. I went to classes down in Virginia, the Airbrush Action. It was only a day class to get your feet wet kind of thing. And I did not continue with it though. I just didn't feel, um, I wasn't interested. I was running a sign business too. So I was wearing a lot of different hats. Now, these little shapes here, I do have this shield from Drew. I was wondering if I could find some of these little shapes that I might need. Maybe this one right here. Instead of going crazy trying to freehand it, too much, I gotta back off on. But there's the shape. Zoom in again a little. Sorry. I meant to go on YouTube to find out how to zoom, and I can't seem to do it right. Forgive me. I know your eyes are going like, whoa. If anybody knows how to do this, please help me. But you can see that little shape I just did. So let's see if we can find anything else that's already similar in here. Of course, it would be this way. It wouldn't be up, and it would have to go there. There's a lot of shapes, though. I mean, this side has some crazy shapes. They're bigger, though. So let me just see in the smaller area, right about here. Capture a few of them. Saves me a lot of trouble, right? Now over here, it's gonna vary a little bit from the real drawing, but I don't care because it's just little tiny details. I can look for something similar. I see some rounder shapes. I'm just flipping it around looking. All right, so I'm not seeing, this might work here, where it drops down right in here. Just kind of subtly. You can even come back in and tweak it a little bit. Tip dry. Too much air, too much volume coming out of there. We're just going to dust above it a little bit like that, and let those shapes kind of be softer like that. Some are harder, some are softer. They're almost like somebody came along with a stencil and sprayed some areas that were not really, like this kind of stuff right here. Like, yeah, got to get the paint to flow like that. And then it breaks away here. Maybe it's a little darker here. Takes a second. There we go. And over here is a little darker. And then it's just little things. It's the little breaks and stuff in it. Okay, that's going to kind of do some fancy stuff this way. You can almost just like shake the gun. Make some of your own little shapes. So instead of it being a black out of the bottle, it's a blue black, that kind of a thing. So I'm going to put the air up higher or actually the MAC valve I'm turning up just to make things behave a little more like a t-shirt kind of painting. So let's see if I could do this. The silent air compressor in the background. And then there's a darkness out here. It kind of attaches to it, but it really gets thin in here, like that. And then it goes this way a little. Not maybe that far down. Then you can close it off with the same color a little bit. And get some tie it together kind of stuff. Lighter version of itself, you know? Pretty smooth there, but it's got broken up areas, like it's a little darker in there, it's a little darker down there, and it's like light in the middle. It's all kind of modeling, like. Looking at another stencil for a minute. Sometimes you got stencils that are for other reasons. You know, they say they're, you know, skin shields or whatever. So I'm looking at the edges. Look at this one, guys. That's cool. But I can't use it right here. All right. So I'm looking. All right. I'm going to go to Gerald Mendez's. I do have them somewhere in here. I'm just curious to see. So what I have is, they're kind of more of a paper. You know, they're like, I have them separated by cards, index cards, so they won't ruin each other. I just want to look at some of the edges. It's got a lot of cool things, definitely, but it's got a lot of openings too that could create a problem that I don't want. Let's try, I'm hunting. Let's try right there, that little bit. And if I ruin it, I can touch it up. There it is. That's good. See, it started to go through one of the openings, but it caught it still. Caught some interesting little shapes that I like. I want to just kind of work off of this now. Probably could use more reducer in there. That would really help it. Oh, time to back out. I think the close-up part you saw, so we know how that works out. Back it out. Backing out is easy. I can bring it in like that too. The arm that it's on. Okay, so what do I do now? I'm gonna go over here, and I'm going to spray this light right in here. I see a lion. Oh my gosh. I see a lion right here. Watch, I'm going to draw on these lines. Right there. There's the nose. There's the one eye. You see it? I don't know. It's just lines that are there that look like a little lion, half of a face. Okay. Oh, that's too dark. I put it in the wrong spot. So we'll get rid of that right away. I'll use my Windex eraser. Yep. Okay, here we go. Get rid of that. Okay. Dry it. Okay, I'll be right back. I am going to get the score of the game from my wife. Hold on. What's the score? Who's winning? What inning? Fourth inning? All right. They got to get more runs than that, though. 1-0. Mets in the fourth. Okay. So, let me just look at one more thing here, guys. Okay. So that would be a 5 again. I know the numbers are probably driving you crazy, but it's cool. It's not driving me crazy. So I need this lighter gray, right? By having the base color of this, like I could spray over it and get all kinds of variations. Wow, that's so much paint. And I have a really good amount. There we go. A little distilled water. Flush it. Because I'm going into another blue. The original blue over here. I'm just going to probably add some gray to it later. By spraying over it. Okay. I'm going to treat this real light. Real light. Sculpt the body a little bit. Some mark in his body there. And then add some of this color in here, far away. Just put it in. It'll be there underneath, waiting. That's probably pretty good. And we'll come down here a little darker. Up here a little lighter. Just missed him right now. Okay. So now I'm going to go to the color I mixed that is, yeah, let me make sure I'm going after the right one. Yeah, number 6. I don't think I am. Yes, I am. All right, so the Gerald Mendez stencils are good for many things, but because there's a lot of openings, I don't have time to tape off the crazy little shapes. So I'll use them. You use the stencil that you need where you need it at the time you need it, right? Okay, so I'm going to get into this darker color, and like I said, put your lids. Now that's not the right lid for that one. Where'd it go? Wow. I gotta just put that over on the tray and put another lid on it until I find the lid. The lids have the little, see, I thought that was the lid, but that was not the lid. That's the lid to what I'm using right now. Sometimes they blow around from the air pressure. They blow into the drawer, or I have a drawer under here. I'll find it, and if I don't, I'll just use the lid that I got. Okay, so now it's time to start refining him a little bit more in the darker areas of his body. This isn't even the darker gray. Let me just use this while I got it. Just different blues popping up in different areas. That's a little heavier than I wanted it, but it's all right. This kind of has a little noise, visual noise in it. This one. Okay, I kind of messed that up a little bit because I'm trying to work around the phone. That sounds like a good excuse to me, but that's all right. I can fix that. It's the line in his body right there. So let's see. We got a little bit of this color in here, and we will come back over here with some of this blue. The gills are right there. They're gonna. Just leave them like that for now. Oops. Clog, and then it squirted. But it did it in the right spot, so I can get away with that. All right, just like I was taught in class, if it's not coming out, don't spray it because it's gonna burst out all of a sudden like it did on me before. So I think I'm gonna put a little 4012 in it, 4021. It needs to flow smoother. Mixed it earlier in the day. So let's do that. Looks pretty liquidy, but Patty here. Haven't been looking at the comments again. Hello, Patty. How are you? Okay, hopefully that's got enough. And I'm going to put a little bit of this right in the color cup to flush it a little more into the cleaning station. And now I'm going to hopefully have this flow a little better. Put it where you want it, right? Not where you don't want it. It's almost circular here. Oops. A reference. Brisket down here. Just trying to leave open areas too. Okay. Remember, the film is all around it, protecting areas. Even this has a film on it right there. But these, like these fins back here, the bottom ones are real dark like that, and the top ones are blue gray. I'm calling it blue gray. It's not a bright blue at all. So when you're studying your reference picture, especially a great photographer that I think I listed him last week, Unsplash. This was a free image. You can buy him a cup of coffee. You can mention his name on Facebook or on my YouTube channel in gratitude, and you can go over there. Or I guess you can donate to, to the photographers that are giving some free images. Then there's images you can pay for. That would be Getty Images and iStock. Depends, like I've been looking for a really good picture of a Mach 1. I don't have the Mach 1 anymore. I have a pretty good picture, but it's not the angle I want and stuff. I would probably have to go to Getty Images and hunt and pay a monthly fee for the exact image that I'm looking for, or go out with my camera and ask a guy that has a Mach 1, 70 Mach 1, if I could take a photo shoot and, give him something for it, or ask him for a ride in a car. I loved my Mach 1. Yes, it was a great car. It was a fun car to ride and drive. Yep, much more fluid there. It's behaving nicer. Now I'm pulling away. I'm doing a little softer version of that same color. I'm just looking at the image there. try to copy what I see. But if you don't have a working airbrush, like mine wasn't a while ago, I sent it out to be worked on. You got to get it right, you know? Got to get it right or it will mess up your painting. Got to get those dagger and feather strokes under control. Now I could probably take, I'm looking at this, it's soft on one side, hard on another edge. So where you get that little shield going, you turn down the Mac valve because it was way too high there. I wanted high pressure for certain areas. So I'm going to try to find one of them. And like I said, they are hard on one edge. So you spray mostly on the shield, catch the back of it, and then let the softness just come out. This is where I do better on my own because I will hold two hands. I will steady my airbrush with the other hand, just habit over the years. And as I'm getting older, you know, it's harder for me to do certain things like I used to because shaking, stuff like that. Not known for the steadiest hand, but I get my artwork done. Looks really weird in the monitor in the phone. Oh my gosh, you got a 69 Mach 1, a 428 Cobra Jet. Where do you live? I'm coming over for a ride. 40K restoring it and then had to sell it. He bought it new. Oh, he had to sell it? That's hard. Like Brian said, that's a hard one to sell. The 428 Cobra Jet, I had a 351 Cleveland. So I had the, you know, the fake hood scoop. It was still a sharp car and it was fast, very fast. But the 428 Cobra Jet, they can burn some rubber. Oh man, I love the hood scoops. Did you have that shaker hood? Was it Brian or who am I talking to? Dan. Did you have the shaker hood, the black one? It was. I was in debt. I get it. I've done that with guitars. Yep, I get it. Well, you had the fun of it restoring. I hope you took some pictures. If you did, man, share them. Share them on. Share them at least with me privately. I'd love to see it. What color did you paint it? Original color or what? Oh, that's so cool to hear. So now I'm getting more 100%-ing in here. The same color. There's little racks here of lines that are coming up out of there soft that are just there. And I can trust that it's safe to spray that deepness and that dark color. Remember, whenever there's white around something, it looks wrong, right? Things could look wrong for a while. And yeah, so yeah, if you got some pictures of that baby, share them. I had the 70 Mach 1, but I bought it used. And it was green, ugly green, and then I got in a minor accident and I ended up having it painted blue. It wasn't a show car paint job though. I didn't have the money, and the guy, the paint job was critiqued by my mechanic friends that I worked at this tire company. He said, "This guy ripped you off." Well, no, he didn't rip me off. He just, that's what he gave me because of the amount of money that I probably had to pay for a paint job I wasn't even prepared to pay for because the accident came and all of a sudden, if I'm going to paint the car, I'm going to change the color. And that's what I did. Keep messing around in certain areas, building it up. This is tricky. This is a soft line that I gotta execute here. I'll go on the frisket right here, and I'll get the right amount of paint, and I'll walk it out very slowly. Little broken up there, so I'll come back with the other color. It's not a smooth line that it should be. Oh, that's too dark. Okay, slow down. Get more done, right? Gotta go after that tip dry, everybody, right? Newbies. This is gonna come right down there, so I gotta kind of line up with that and pull it. There we go. Deepen it right there. And then come in here and deepen that one a little more. Oh, that was weird. My eyes just flickered. Might be from staring at the thing. That just was like a out of control feeling. Getting some shapes in there. It looks very, starting to look heavy in the water, you know. Okay, so yeah, as we go further, we'll go a little more in here. Get a little line going there. That's good. Dust some more color. There's soft markings. There's a lot of modeling going on here, like just crazy, dots and softness, and then all of a sudden it gets hard lines and a lot going on. Okay. Okay. We're going to get the X-acto out. I'm going to pop out this section. Not with that blade. It's flat, broken off the top. Especially when you're lifting frisky, you got to have that. You got to have that point, to grab it. Come on now, get in there. Okay. Now, like I said with the OPEGs, like say that's ruined up there. It looks like a funky area too. Probably is good, but let's say it is ruined. You can just take the OPEG white, put a little correction color in it, and you can take that and fix it. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about the mistakes. You can feel like you got an eraser with paint with the OPEG style. So, and you can use both styles. You can come in here and bring some. Now, what's going on here? Used to have really nice tweezers. They're gone. They had their own little holder and everything. They're gone, though. Gone, but not forgotten. Okay, so I'll leave that for a minute. I'm going to put a little shading right in here. Is it blue there? No, it's blue here. Forgot what color I had in the gun. So now I'm just using a lighter version of that. The frisket's still on that white area. And it's pretty saturated. It looks pretty. It's like a nice blue there. There. And there it's a little 3D looking. I can use it here too, just to round that off a little more, fill in some areas that are, and then put my highlight in later. Okay, so we're working our way around and over. So now we're going to go and get this corner. Yeah, one day you look at this, you know, when you have a store, one day you're looking for something that's like, where did that go? I don't know. It disappeared. So did my portfolios one time. It was two portfolios taken right out of the shop of sign work that I did. And I was like, I'm going to put a little, well, let's see. Let's just tint the bottom of this a little bit. Just a little, just like that. Watch the white. When the white goes away, actually we need this color right here, I do believe. Let's make it go away. Yeah, it's another color. It's got a more saturated blue look. Okay. And I kind of messed up this area a little bit by trying to go through there, but it's okay. Everything will work out in the end. Because where you think there might be pure white right there, you find out it's not. It's a blue white. And you think, like, if I take white right now and try to brighten that, I might brighten it so much that it won't look like it's part of the shark. But if I take the original color, which I'm going to do right now, and try to shape that a little better and clean up my little sloppiness there, it should, yeah, it should show up like, this should act like white, okay, in that area. As long as I already established it, I'm hoping that. Otherwise, I have to make a correction color, and I don't think I have to do that right now. Okay, so that was my cart. I got all the drawers open on it. My chair has the arms on it, so if anybody knows a good company for chairs for people with bad necks, let me know, because I need some kind of better support system. There we go. Yeah, it's brighter than that, but fix my lines first. There. Yeah, it's not showing up that same light. There we go. It's a little better. But I got to probably do a correction color there. But I'm going to come in here and see if I could establish some more whites, lighter colors up here that are not pure white. There, right in there. I got to go around this shape that's right here and create it's a little shape in there. I don't know what it is, but it's there. And then you got some lighter areas here. Cuts right through here. Little pump stroke. texture, weathering, whatever you want to call it. It's actually black in there. I got to go back over that. So these have little shapes that go like this. If I go too far, I can always go back in and fix things, adjust things. There was that line I made wrong, so let's fix that. There it is. It's a little thinner than that, so we'll hit the bottom. There we go. I have to put the line in darker, obviously. And then this starts walking its way down. There's going to be adjustments, definitely. All right. I'm starting to see him a little bit better now. I went on, that's the sky. I didn't protect that area, the sky. That's the water. See, I didn't have a piece of frisket when I flipped it around. I have the original color. And that's the nice thing, too, about these opaque paints. They, you can save the colors and get in and do things to it. So let's just I want to just try something. Taking cerulean right out of the bottle. This might be a little too much, but I can knock it back. Showing you that you can definitely use, that's too thick. You can definitely use colors, that are out of the bottle or transparents that you mix. But you have to use a lot of control. So I see a little bit more blue. I'm going to just try to haze it in right here, right out of the bottle, right there. That's perfect. It's like you're not going to see, the horrors of what this color could really do, which would be, a little sample here. This is the color I'm using, but I'm just tinting. See, so I want to come in here and put a little more blue and just tinting it by controlling that a little bit more. And even here, there's a little bit of color coming off the base. That's more intense, but I surely didn't want to spray it, that way before. That looks, nice when you can control it. I'm seeing it in probably other play back here. Might be a little bit more of cobalt blue back here, but I could put this here to lighten it a little bit. Yeah, that's it, just on the bottom. And it's time to look at it, time to see where I'm at with this. You got to get back from it. You gotta look at it and see where you're at. Yes, I got almost poked before. Like I said, I had this in the drawer, Patty. I had the blade like that. Now that's the drawer that's down below, down there. So here's how it was. And I didn't even pay attention, and there it was. But it was aiming this way. And it slightly got my knuckle. I came at it and was like warned. So yeah, while you're working, yeah, you got to rest your eyes. You got to look at it. Oh, thanks for the likes, guys. I got 9 likes on the live video. That's wonderful. Um, we try to do our best to make these live feeds. This is a free live feed. I'm not even monetized on YouTube. I'm doing this because I love teaching, and right now my life is very busy with other things. So I'm just keeping my hands in it, the teaching part, and I'll always paint. But that's why I'm doing the live streams right now. It's for the peeps out there. I enjoy it, so I'm going to do it. Okay. So there is black. I'm going to go back to that black, but I'm going to take a Solo Cup. This is another company. Solo Cup was a brand. This is called My Little Cups, right? I think it's got the name Dart on it somewhere. I'm not sure. The cup itself is not showing the name. But they're restaurant supply things. Oh, there's the name, but it's too hard for me to see. It's embossed and indented or whatever. Put in there. Okay, so what was I going to do? I was going to get the black. The reason why I'm not going to use the black right out of the bottle is I want to reduce it down. So I'll put the black, a little bit of that black right in there. And then I will put my 4021 in here. I want it pretty watery, so. And then I just do that. Or I get the brush. That works though. And now I gotta get a paper towel. That's the other thing. Besides getting poked by the X-acto knife, which is worse, you go down into the drawer and you got tape stuck to you. You come up with all kinds of stuff on you, and because you're working and you're not cleaning as you're going, here's another X-acto down in the drawer, just laying there. And then I have a pencil down there and some loose things. There's a lid to some color. I need to put that on. So, yeah, right here. Snap it on. But sometimes when you snap these on, and if you just leave it like that, air will get in there. You got to really snap them on. Whether you're using transparent mixtures or opaques, because you want to have, yep, I got one more here that needs a lid. The lid's upside down. That's the color. That's the little bottle, the little Solo Cup. Now I'm going to put black in this micron, flush it out a little bit. Yeah, color cup is dirty. It's stopping the paint from flowing. Yep. Okay, so I have a little problem right now. Hold on a minute. Wow. There we go. So there was probably a coffee grain, microscopic piece that can't always blame the airbrush. You have your side cups, or, well, I'm talking about the kind of airbrush that I'm using, the side cups. So you have to get the side cup. Sometimes you think, I cleaned the airbrush and it's still not working. And then you get your little dental thing and you go in there afterwards, like that. Or if you're in the middle of a video and you ream that out, you also go inside the airbrush. This is what stops this little guy. Ouch, that's not opening. This little guy will not behave if that's all cluttered with, especially opaque paint. So you want to, I usually use a Q-tip right here with Windex on it, and I'll go like that and get all, you can use whatever you want. It hasn't given me a problem. I think Drew said something about watch out with the Q-tips because somebody's got clogged, but I'm just talking about even wiping them. You know, constantly learning. If you tell somebody something and then somebody else has a problem later, it's like you want to just realize that we're all just sharing information and mistakes can be made or we keep learning. We're always learning, you know, especially maintenance. So then you just make sure the opening is clear. You make sure that that is clean. And you've been wrestling, say, with the Micron for, let's say, 20 minutes, not spraying, and you did everything to it, and you can't, you know, get it to work, and all of a sudden it's the color cup, and your gun wasn't even the problem. It only takes a little grain of paint to stop the flow. It's really crazy, but that's how it is. So I'm just getting the black into the gun, and I'll go after um, what the Micron's made for, a little freehand work. You can use the shield too, but where I'm going is around the fin, and that's why I wanted a liquidy, very liquidy. I'll know if it's too liquidy. I'll add more body to it, more paint. I'll turn the air way down, or the volume, I should say. Compressor just came on. Okay, so I'm going to go around here, so I can use the shield a little bit. A tiny French curve, I do believe will work right here. Nope, right there. There we go. I'm just going to edge it a little bit right there, just to go around. Then I can go in freehand. I've already established the shape. You don't even have to do that if you're really good with the freehand stuff. It's kind of raised there a little, and then it goes down like that. It's a little choppy in some areas. It should be because it's a fish. I love the scene in Home Alone where Marv and Harry are out in New York City in the fish truck, and they're saying to each other, Harry says something to him like, "You smell that, Marv? Marv?" And he goes, "Yeah, fish." He says, "No, it's freedom." He said, "No, it's fish." And they argued for a while. I love it, man. It's like, what a great movie. Okay, a little more volume because it's not moving. And I'm just going to go right along here and get in real close. Whoops, I almost missed. I did miss a little. And then just establish that black shape around there. And then these are all fins and stuff that we'll get to. And they're not black. That's not black. These are not black lines. They're dark blue. They're this color. And if you use black and I continue up, I get a cartoon. Start getting the cartoon shape. And this is darker right here. So I'm just going to go right on the edge of the frisket one more time. Passing through there and right here. Okay. And it pretty much stays out there on the edge. And we've got a little bit more, I think, in the middle there. I didn't even do much there. Okay. So the eye is established, the darkness. That's just going to have a little darker. Got to be careful because I'm really using the wrong color there. I got to be careful. I don't want to use black. I get it in the gun and it's like, I think I could start painting. No, 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 no. Okay, these shapes come up. This cuts off really square right here. So it goes like that, and then it cuts across. Is it coming out? Check it on a piece of paper. There we go. just weird, weird little things that are surrounding this. There. That's black, so you can paint black where it is, and then you can see the difference of the charcoal colors and the different things. It's dark inside the mouth. That's still not black in the mouth, though. But once that goes in the mouth, the darker gray, that's when it's going to really start showing up his face features. Right now, they're not showing up. Use my fingernail there. That's Frisket. But once that mouth has the darkness in it and the little teeth showing, then it starts to become really interesting. So next week I'll get to that. I'll be spraying the bottom again. I'll use a paper cutout and I'll bring the darker water up. Because like I showed you before, you know, when you start looking at values like that, okay, you've got, look through the little window there. I'll start here. And it's the same color. This color, this is one color, and that's one color, okay? But what happens is this one overlaps that one. So it starts getting lighter and lighter. So it's not another color. It's this color sprayed lighter and kind of melt into each other. And that's, you know, that's what you do. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. So, you're talking about jets and stuff, or you got so realistic. Are you talking about my painting? Hoping it's looking real, or is the airplanes realistic? I've seen videos of those things, jets. They sound like jets. They're huge too. If you're talking about those planes that are a hobby, you know. Everything's expensive. Hey, JC, everything's expensive, you know? Everything. Oh, boy. You spilled a half full airbrush cup of green down my leg. Oh, man. Yeah, we've got artistic looking clothing too. And in the summer with the shorts on, we can have all kinds of. I have it over by the sink right now. I have a sink in the garage, and at both under the sink in the kitchen, I have a lava soap, brand new bar, in a dish, and I have my scrub brush for my, you know, scrubbing. As soon as I get that lava soap on these fingers, it just starts coming right off. It's like Gojo for a mechanic, right? And the nail brush just finishes it off, and you get nice cleaned up, you know. But yeah, clothing, that's another story. Why is this doing that? I'm trying to look at the. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, if I had the money right now of, say, somebody that's well off and I could play with toys, I would definitely. At first, I would get my VIN number and try to find my Mach 1. I don't know if it could be done. And then if it was for sale or something, I would love to restore the original Mach 1 that I had that was used. I got it used. If not, I would love to just get the Mustang and, you know, do it over, but put a showroom car finish on it and do everything. But I had the Krager wheels at the time. I have a photo. Let me just see if I got it right here. Yeah. This was like my car. My car had a white hood scoop. This was a free one on the Splash. You know, you would have to do your own background. I would paint that white, the hood scoop or whatever you want to call it. Everything else is the same as my car. These were gorgeous. These were lit up orangey kind of fog lamps. And at night or in the evening when it was just dusk, those look so cool. And you had the headlights, and then you have the dented in the 69s had the cutaway in here. I didn't. I had Krager wheels. They were a little different than these. They were a little more fatter, rounder shapes. But oh man, do I miss that car? That car was so fun to drive. It was a powerful car. 351. It was more like like my friend's car on a straightaway. He could go faster going down the road. You're not supposed to be going fast on the roads, but it was a long time ago, and we went down a long straight road, and he took off, and he kind of, I think he had a, I'm not sure. I'm going to say Ford Torino, but he had the more powerful engine, but a bigger car. And then when this hit, this was an automatic. When it hit uh, that that gear, when you floor it, it just took off like as if it was faster once it was going, and then it passed by him. And but anyway, I went to Florida on my honeymoon with my wife in the car, and just seeing it on Daytona Beach with the sand on the tires and what a beautiful car. Or when my wife, we were just about wedding day, she borrowed her car, right, 50-50, but she borrowed the car, and I don't know how I got to work that day. Maybe she dropped me off, but I saw her. I was in a donut shop, and I saw her go by. She had the long brunette hair, and I looked at it. I never really get to see your own car. You're always in it. And there's my car sitting at the light. I'm getting donuts, looking through the glass window. And it's, and there's this beautiful girl. And it's my wife. It's like, and then she took off. She didn't race, but she gave it a little, at the light. She just gave it a little gas, and it growled. But man, those were the days. That's when they made really great muscle cars. Nothing against the powerful cars of today. There's a lot of nice cars out there, but that was my experience. Anyway, so it's been 2 hours. My dad had Kragers. I had the hijacker too, which was you could fill them with air a little, and the car would go up. Because when I worked at a tire company, I had the 50 series tires back here. I didn't have radials, and I had the regular, the matching tires with the lettering on it and all. But I had the real fat tires, and yeah, the Krager wheels, the hijackers. You had to jack up the car a little bit, or else the tires, because everybody wanted the big fat tires back in the day. Dual exhaust, but this isn't the angle I want of the car. I would paint this white. I would change it to my car, but I would rather get a 3/4 view or a back view. I'd like to paint it a number of times. But anyway, yeah, that's just a thing that I miss really, but I'm so glad I have it and the memories of it. Somebody's riding around in my car. Hopefully it's not in a junkyard. But all right, guys, this is it for tonight, and thanks for hanging out with me. Next week we'll be unveiling after the shark is worked on more and this fin's done and tweaked and pushed and all the little things that make it look more like that. Then I'll look at it with fresh eyes. Even later tonight when I come back in the room and just look at it, I'll go, oh man, I got to do this and I got to do that. Yeah, I do to it, But once this white is gone and that white's gone, and then we bring that darker blue up and we can unveil part of because I'm getting rid of this frisket right here. Just the edge there. There's a miscut right there. Just a little one where it is rickety. No, it's smoother there. So I'll have to fix that. But yeah, he's going to be really, and then I went up into the sky there a little bit. I keep calling it the sky. There's damage on the paint, but the opaques, I have the same color, right here. That same color. We'll just spray that right out and fix it. So thanks for hanging with me. I will see all of you guys. I'm not sure if it's going to be every week. Like I said, I'm trying to do, thank you, Patty. Thank you so much. I'm trying to do them weekly again. But if you don't see me on, I'm going to definitely try to do twice a month, and that's good. I mean, time goes fast, and there's a lot of other feeds you can watch too. But I'm not disappearing. I'm just working around a very painful neck. Tonight, I'm in good shape. I've been trying to aim my head differently when I eat dinner, and it's all to do with, leaning forward, leaning that way. Oh, look at my arm. It's 7 years old. Oh gosh. So good night, guys. Have fun airbrushing. Be safe, and see you on the next feed. Maybe next week. We'll see. God bless you guys, and good night. Oh yeah, and thanks for all the likes and if there's comments on here, thank you for that too. Thanks, Patty. Same with you. Same to you, especially with your eyes. Okay.